So now we come to the second major bone of contention, dreams. But in order to understand the Freudian way of interpreting dreams, it's important to provide some detail of his method of free association that I alluded to earlier. So by the end of the 19th century, Freud was experimenting with psychoanalytic techniques that he employed on his patients. He had abandoned the practice of hypnosis in favor of free association. His patients were still required to recline on a couch with Freud sitting close behind but out of sight. But now the patient was encouraged to take a less passive role and were instead required to verbally express their thoughts or fantasies, untrammelled, however random or inappropriate they might be. In the mode of free association, the patient would invariably discuss his or her dreams, since dreams are typically poignant mental phenomena. Freud affirmed that, with very few exceptions, dreams were disguised, hallucinatory fulfilments of repressed wishes. He also asserted that dreams not only represented current wishes, but were also often expressions of wish fulfillments dating from early childhood. Freud regarded dreams as if they were neurotic symptoms. He believed that they gave indirect expression to infantile sexual wishes, which had been repressed and which, if expressed in undisguised form, would so disturb the dreamer that he would wake up. Now, because these wishes are unacceptable and potentially disturbing, they are censored and disguised. The emergent dream, like a neurotic symptom, is a compromise between censorship and direct expression. The events of the previous day, which often enter into dreams, are important only because they resonate with and therefore activate the repressed infantile impulse. Freud described the mental processes by which the dream is modified as defense mechanisms. And here is a categorized list linked to the notion of repression according to Freud. But I must emphasize that these are just some Freudian defense mechanisms, which most pertain to his dream theory. And this is not all of his defense mechanisms. So the first one is called condensation, which is the fusing together of different ideas and images into a single image. The second one is displacement, whereby a potentially disturbing image or idea is replaced by something connected but less disturbing. Number three is representation, which is the process by which thoughts are converted into visual images. And lastly is symbolization, in which some neutral object stands for or alludes to some aspect of sexual life or those persons connected with it, which the dreamer would prefer not to recognize. So essentially, this view implies that the dream, as recalled by the dreamer, has been subject to an array of processes in order to disguise it and conceal its true meaning. Freud used the term manifest content to describe what the dreamer recalled, and latent content to describe what remained hidden, the true meaning of the dream. Thus, through the verbal recalling of the dream via free association, could psychoanalytic scrutiny be applied in order to interpret the dream's meaning. Now, ultimately, Freudian dream interpretation theory has not withstood the test of time, with many contemporary psychologists regarding aspects as simply untenable. Not every psychic phenomena can be regarded as a wish fulfillment that can be explained in terms of sexual repression as its innate cause. So to summarize Freud's stance on dreams, Freud believed that we could learn much about an individual through the interpretation of dreams. Freud argued that when we are awake, our deepest desires are not acted upon because there are the considerations of reality, the ego, and also morality, the superego. But during sleep, these restraining forces are weakened and we may experience our desires through dreams. Freud also believed that our dreams are able to able to access repressed and anxiety-provoking thoughts, mainly sexually repressed desires, that cannot be entertained directly for fear of anxiety or embarrassment. Thus, defense mechanisms allow a desire or thought to slip through into our dreams in a disguised symbolic form.